Welcome back, guys. So we are going to be learning about a topic today called conditionals. And conditionals are if-then statements. So we're going to learn how to set up a condition so that one action happens if a user says one thing, another action happens based on another input. It's a really great way to make your program responsive to a user, which is what you would do as a professional programmer. And it's used all the time in like video games, and almost every type of programming has a way to write conditionals in them. So it's a really important part of learning about Python or JavaScript or Java even, as you learn how to write conditionals. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import my turtle. You're not going to have all these notes. Actually, maybe I'll put these little things in here for you. So you're just going to take the notes and then you're going to do the exercises below. So you're going to import turtle as, and then you're going to name your turtle. Okay, I'm just going to name mine R. Okay, my notes are below. I don't need all that space. Let me pull it up. Now, a conditional usually ask somebody a question first. So I'm going to use the input function and ask somebody, how are you today? Okay, with a question mark. Now, of course, I need to set this equal to a variable. Otherwise, I can't use it later on. So I'm going to say feeling is equal to how are you today? Okay. So actually, I'm not going to call it feeling. I'm going to call it mood. So mood equals how are you doing today? Or how are you today? Now, based on what they tell me, and you know what, I'm going to give them some options. I'm going to go colon, good, bad, or meh. Right? And I'm going to do that so that they will answer one of those three options. I don't want them just answering anything because I can't take, sometimes I can't take that into account. Or I'll show you how to take that into account actually. But it's better to give people choices so that you can kind of dictate how they're going to answer you back. All right. Now, the way that you do this is you set up a statement and you start against the left margin. Okay, so you say if mood, and you use two equal signs here. So if mood equal the word good. So if they tell me good, I put a colon here. Make sure you have a colon. And then when you hit return, it auto tabs it in. Okay, and the stuff that I'm going to type in here is only going to occur if someone said good. They responded good back to this question. Okay, I want the r.write. Remember, R is my turtle's name, so you put whatever turtle's name you use. R.write. Glad to hear it. Okay, you're glad to hear that someone said good. Now, what if they didn't say good? What if they said bad? Remember, if you hit return, you're going to be automatically tabbed in. And if I type something in here, this action will only occur if the mood is equal to good. And double equal to sign, by the way, folks, this actually means what we think of like in mathematics as equality. A single equal sign is a way to set a variable, whereas a double equal sign asks the question, are these two things equal to each other? Okay, so that's what those two equal signs meant. So I'm going to hit return. I'm going to delete back so that I'm again at the left margin. And I'm going to write a different statement here. I'm going to say elif, and this stands for else if. Elif mood equal. And then what if they say bad? Oops. Then colon here, return. I'm going to have R to write. And you know what's easier? I don't know why I'm not doing this, and I'm doing a terrible job writing today. I'm going to copy this, make sure that I am tabbed in, and hit r.write. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Now, I'm going to write another elif statement, okay? And this is going to take into account if they say meh. If mood equal meh, and the space around the equal sign doesn't matter, colon, return. And I already have this in my clipboard, so I'll say r.write, and I'll say, I hope tomorrow is better for you. Okay. Now, I am going to delete and I'm going to return and then delete so I'm against the left margin here. And I'm going to write the statement else colon. Okay. Now, the way the conditions are set up is the first one says if, every remaining one says elif, and the last one, else, it does not ask a question, right? These three lines ask a question. It says, is mood equal bad? Is mood equal meh? Is mood equal good? This last one doesn't take a question, or doesn't take a condition. It's going to run if everything else fails, this last one will run. So if I say, if they say anything else, I'll say, please say good, bad, or meh. Okay, so that means that they didn't pick one of the three choices that I gave them. So let's run this and check out what happens. Okay, and sometimes, guys, I have to run it and then hit stop and then run it again for it actually to show up. Okay, so if I said good, it should say glad to hear it, right? If I said bad, it should say sorry to hear it. And if I say meh, it should say, click, MEH, return. I hope tomorrow is better for you, okay? And then if I say anything else, let's say I put a number in, like 8. It'll say, please say good, bad, or meh, okay? I'm gonna put a period there. So that's how this works. This is a little tiny program with a conditional. These things are called conditionals. If, elif, and else statements are called conditionals. These are a conditional that will respond to an input. Okay, and I will tell you that every conditional is going to be like this. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it down here, and then I'm just going to modify it. Okay, so here I want to make a conditional that draws with different pen sizes based on what someone says. So I can say let's call it choice, or user choice, user underscore choice. Okay, so I can say, do you want a small, medium, or large line? Okay, now now I'm going to change mood to user choice. So if user choice, if they say underscore choice, if they say, I'm going to have my options be small. Okay, the second one is if user choice says, oh my goodness, I'm doing a terrible job today. User choice equals, I won't worry about it too much. We should probably give ourselves a little bit more grace. If user choice equals small, then I'm going to do something. Okay, if user choice equals medium, I'm going to do something else, and it's not going to be right. I'm going to delete that in just a second. I just want to show you. I'm going to set up my conditionals real quick. Small, medium, and then the third one is large. Okay. Now, if they say small, what I want to do is I want to make, let's say I want to make a red line that's 200 pixels long. That is size 2. So I say r.pen size 2, okay, and then I want to go r.color red, and then I want to say r.forward, and I'll say 200. Okay, if they say medium, I want to do something that's similar to this. I want to make it, so I'm going to paste it here. Make sure that they're all tabbed in correctly. They may give you a hard time here. Okay, so I always bring it up to the last line and then delete it. I delete it back up to the last time and then hit return. So I'll make a size 8. I'm going to say aqua, because I really like aqua. And I'm going to make it a 300 pixel line. Okay, and then finally, if they say large, if user choice equals large, I believe this is still in my paste, so let me paste it here. And again, just be super careful about the space. Okay, if it doesn't run, I'm going to try to run it without deleting it back up, but if it doesn't, then you can always delete it. So the pen size, let's make the pen size 30. Let's make the color dark slate gray, one of my favorite colors. And let's ask it to go forward 400, okay? And then if all else fails, if they don't say small, medium, or large, I'm going to say, have my else say r.write, please say small, medium, or large. Because I'll know that they didn't answer the way that I wanted them to. Okay. All right, so let's try to run this. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these and put these in comments. So it's a little easier. Okay, so I'm going to run this. And let's say I say small. So let me test out all the things. Small. Okay, a red line size 2 that goes 200. Okay, fine. Let's run it again and say medium. Okay, so remember, all three of these actions happen only if medium is chosen. Okay, all the line 31, 32, and 33 will only execute if medium is chosen. I know that because of the spacing. 31, 32 is contained in the condition of 30 because it's tabbed in within that. Whereas 35, 36, and 37 are contained with the condition of inside the condition of at 34. Okay, and let's try large. We should have a dark slate gray, and it's 400 pixels long. Okay, and if I write something different, then it will say, please say small, medium, or large. Notice that even if I write capital M small, because that doesn't have a lowercase small, it will throw it back and say, please say it this exact way. All right, there's ways to make that a little bit better, but it's a little bit more complicated, and so I'm not going to show you today. So just for now, make sure that everything is lowercase. All right. Okay, so finally, I'm just going to show you a conditional that has a loop inside. All right, so I'm going to copy this again and paste it below. Okay, and then just modify, because now that I have a loop that works, it's easier for me to modify it. I'm going to put those in comments, so then not every loop will run. Okay, for this one, I want to show you how to draw with a loop inside of a conditional. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call this square choice. Okay, and I will say, do you want a small, medium, or large square? Okay, now I am going to write square choice on all three of these instead of user choice. So I'm going to click here, and if you hold down Control or Command on a Mac, if you click in these other two spots, if you're very careful about it, you can actually change three spots at one time. Okay, square choice, square choice, square choice. So again, I'm going to make it easy for myself and allow the answers to be small, medium, or large square. Okay, so I'm also going to keep the colors in here. So if they say, I'm going to have them draw a small red square. All right, so okay, to draw a square, I have to put a for loop in. So I say for I in range 4, right, colon return. Now just look at line 49 for a second. It is tabbed in 2 levels. Okay, so it's 8 spaces in. That is because it is inside a for loop, and then it's also inside the if condition. Okay, so this space is only going to run this inside this for loop, inside this condition, if this condition is met, which is if they say small for a square. So that's the way it should be. So if I were to go against the left margin, I hit tab twice to get to that situation. So hopefully that will work. Actually, I just feel more comfortable deleting it and then pressing return. Usually that is just a much better way to space it. It's so finicky with Python. Okay, so for I in range 4, I want R to go forward. Remember, R is my own turtle's name. I'm going to make it small, so forward 100, and I'm going to say R.write 90. Okay, now I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated by actually making, I'll say R.begin underscore fill here. And then I want to return this and then press enter, and then I want to delete one of the tabs. okay? Because I don't want the end fill to be inside the loop. I only want it to be inside the conditional. So I'm going to say r dot end underscore fill, okay? Now, again, because I have this in one, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to delete all this, and I'm going to paste it, and hopefully all the spacing is okay. So for this one, I'm going to make a purple, and it's the same. I want to make a square, so the for I in range 4 is going to be okay, and then for I'll say 200. Let's say 150. Oops. And then the right by 90. So the only thing I'm changing is the color of it and the size of it. And again, this is in my clipboard, so I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to paste these lines in here again, and I'm going to make it, let's see, peach puff. And I will make it, I'll change the forward amount to 200 this time. All right, so it's still a square, but that way it becomes a different color and a size, okay? And I can keep this, please say small, medium, or large. Okay, so if I say small, it draws a little square and fills it in, okay? A little red square. If I say medium, it runs lines 54 through 59. Bam. And then if I say large, it runs, and this is what you should do with yours too. Check all of the conditions. If I say large, there you go. Peach puff. And then if I say anything else, even if it's capital S small, it will say please please answer. I'll say answer. That sounds a little bit better. Please answer small, medium, or large. Okay? And that's all the conditionals I'm going to show you today. You're only going to be doing the notes today because it was such a long lesson, because I wanted to show you every type of conditional. And then on Thursday you'll start, or on Thursday or Friday you'll start the exercises. All right, so you're done at this point. Make sure all of your loops work though.